Recycling doesn't do anything to help the planet, right? It's just a huge waste of our time, right? Wrong. The Earth that you are living on is slowly dying due to methane levels being released into our atmosphere. Methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas that is destroying our Earth. It gets stuck inside of our atmosphere and causes the Earth to warm. This is part of the reason why we have climate change. If we don't start to recycle, the methane levels will go down. After reading a ton of information over recycling, I know all of the negative things that it does to us, the Earth, and the adorable little animals that coexist with us. Some of the information that I have found can be pretty gruesome, such as animals dying. How does it feel knowing that sweet animals are dying because of something as innocent as plastic? The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. It is part of the reason why you are alive. This is the place where you've lived your whole entire life. It is always important to keep your Earth clean. You can do that by recycling and keeping trash out of landfills. If recycling doesn't become a trend between everything, bad things will start to happen. It is crucial that we all start recycling. It may not seem as big of a deal to you now, but think further down the road. Think about your children, then your grandchildren, and then your great-grandchildren. You might not see what the Earth is like while all of them are alive, but Recycling Across America says that the pollution rates are currently at 78.6%. This wouldn't affect you, but think about how it could turn into a disaster for them. In this speech, I will try to persuade you on why it is very important that you recycle. It affects our health as humans. In some countries, the pollution rates are so high that their air is considered unclean, and they have to wear masks just so they can breathe it. You have to think about the animals and how they are also being affected. They're being killed by something that seems so innocent, plastic. We will talk about ways to make recycling less confusing so it will be easier for you and your friends to recycle. When people pollute or trash is thrown into landfills, more methane will be released into the air. You may not think this is a big deal, but over time it will cause huge deal. UCSB Science Line says that the atmosphere is like a blanket to the Earth. It makes it so that we can breathe and that plants can grow. Adding extreme amounts of methane into the equation, and we have no atmosphere. That means there will be no air for us to breathe. There will also be no plants to grow. Not to mention the fact that the Earth would be super hot. The atmosphere helps protect us from the sun's UV rays. If there is no atmosphere, the days would be even hotter, and the nights would be even colder. Another thing that the atmosphere protects us from is meteorites. You may think this is a strange one, but think about the moon for a second. If it doesn't have an atmosphere, and it is constantly being hit by meteorites. Here's a picture of what the moon looks like because it has no atmosphere. And so, you guys can pass that around. The reason the Earth doesn't get hit by meteorites is because the atmosphere helps burn them up before they get a chance to even hit the Earth. A tip to help you get started in recycling is to get bins and label them with what recyclables go in each. This way, you can just throw each of the items into their designated spot. It's simple and doesn't take a lot of time. There are also other ways to make it easier. Recycling Across America says that most people don't recycle because it can be confusing when judging what should and shouldn't be recycled. This is why a lot of companies are starting to put labels on their products, but there's still several people that say it's too difficult for them. Mark Recycling says that every person generates approximately 4.38 pounds of trash every single day. An article written by Seattle PI says that at some point, this waste will end up in a source of your drinking supply. How would you feel knowing that one day you won't have any clean water to drink? You'll most likely regret it because it will never taste the same if we keep polluting our waters. Oh, did I mention that the more you litter, the more our air becomes contaminated? Methane is a chemical that humans are not meant to breathe in. It can cause respiration problems and even, in some cases, even lead to cancer. That is why some very high polluted countries, people wear masks. The more people there are, the more litter and landfills there are. So the people don't want to risk getting sick, so they simply just wear a mask everywhere to prevent that. How would you feel if you had to wear a mask everywhere you went for the rest of your life? Have you even thought about the animals and what they have to go through? Every single day, animals are affected by us littering. One Green Planet wrote that the worst of the littering comes from plastic. This mainly comes from water bottles and plastic bags. Sea animals will mistake plastic bags for jellyfish and try to eat it. This results in them choking on the plastic and dying. Jennifer Enzel says that a way to prevent this from happening is shopping with a tote bag. You can reuse it every single time you go shopping, and there is no waste, and it will save many animals' lives. PETA tells that 6 packs of soda rings often get caught around curious animals' heads. Here's an example of a cat that got a soda thing caught around his head and then ended up dying from it. So, this is why when you are done with the 6-pack, you should take a knife and cut open the rings so the animal can't get their head stuck. You should also recycle the plastic so other animals don't try to eat it. Something that you may think is innocent but is very harmful to animals is spitting out your gum onto the ground. Little animals like lizards will run around and get stuck in it. That could result in them starving to death. It's really not that hard to spit your gum out into a trash can. It's really not hard or strenuous to take care of the earth either. In summary, recycling will do more than just help yourself. It'll help you, the animals, and it'll help the earth be healthier. People always make excuses that recycling is too hard or that it's too confusing, but really, if you just take a little time out of your day and a little money out of your wallet to buy bins and label them with what recyclables go in each, you will make a difference. By recycling, you will be saving many animals' lives. You will also be saving the Earth's life. Her atmosphere won't deteriorate as fast if we make all the decisions to recycle. It may not seem like a very big deal, but to reduce the waste that goes into our landfills, it is very important. This is why you should always try your hardest to recycle what you can. Think of all the lives that you will change by making the change in your lifestyle today.